Hey guys, so we are going to be digging today into family guilt. This is a big thing in the first responder world, and this is one lesson that I teach in my program. Normally, I do not do anything that is mindset and all that. We truly just focus on the mental, we truly focus on the physical. But this one lesson my husband said was a huge game changer for him with our kids when we discovered it. And whenever anybody is at that lesson in the program, they find that it has just made such a difference for them. And so, in the fact that you don't have a lot of time on shift, when you're doing 12-hour shifts, 24-hour shifts, if you're doing 12s back to back, you have your commute time, you need to sleep in there, you need to try to get your food. It's really, really hard. Um, it's really, really, really hard for you to even have any time with your kids. And my husband used to try to do all of these things with the kids, and sometimes they'd appreciate it, and sometimes they wouldn't. And he would get frustrated and really not understand why until we discovered the five love languages. So, if any of you have ever heard of the five love languages, um, pop it in the comments as to how much it has helped your family. Quite often, the five love languages is looked at more so as far as with couples, but it's been expanded to being with kids, and it's made a huge difference in our family. So, what are the five love languages? Um, the five love languages are gifts, act of kindness, quality time, touch, and words of affirmation. So, what this is spoken about, if you actually just Google five love languages, you will have it pop up. Um, it's it's one of the most amazing books. There's a kid's book and an adult book for it. They even have some for military coming back from deployment. Um, all different books you'll be able to see for teenagers, for young kids. So what it is that everybody has one dominant love language. That's usually what um, it's just how they feel expressions of love. And when you understand what your child's love language is, um, it means that you can fill their love tank quickly and they're happy. So I'll give you examples with my kids. So my kids are touch and quality time. So the one that's touch is all over us all the time. We'll be sitting there, he'll be crawling all over us, trying to do everything. Like we'll even be at the dining room table. He always needs a foot or whatever. Whoever is beside him, he's either a foot or it's quite often too, he's sitting in your lap and you're like, what the heck just happened? His love language is touch. If you're touching him, he is fine. So what I find with him is different things is if I'm doing my thing, but if I do it beside him and I'm just touching him and he's reading a book or playing his game, he's absolutely fine because he knows that I love him. Um, or with my other child that's quality time, he is, if I don't spend quality time with him before he goes to bed. My husband actually is the one that often does it with him. They sit and do flags on the wall or read a book or talk about stories or do something. If you even do that for 5 minutes with him, the next morning he's fine. But if we don't do that, if we just put him to bed quickly and don't give him that quality time, the next morning he's usually in the kitchen with me while I'm trying to get breakfast and get their lunch together and get everything sorted. He's like, Mommy, will you do this with me? Mommy, will you do that with me? And I know that I actually have to just stop and give him a couple minutes of my time. If I stop and give him just a few minutes of my time at that point, he is happy and he goes off and does his thing, and then I can get things done instead of us being underway, him feeling neglected, and it being this whole thing. And so this also explains when we're playing a game with our quality time child, the other one says he wants to play, but he usually goes off and he's usually crawling all around us. And it used to drive us crazy. We'd be like, we thought you wanted to play. And he's just all over the map, all over us, that we've learned that we play with the one and the other one is usually crawling all over us and we know it's his love language. So we'll like grab him and pull him into like a bear hug or pull his leg. And you'll find that as he gets his love tank filled, he starts to he'll go off and do his own thing. Same with the other one. When you're done his game, he'll go off and do the old thing. So my husband knows when he comes home, if he just spends 5 minutes with each child in their own love language, then their tank's full and they're totally happy. And then he can actually like take a nap if he needs to, if he's thoroughly exhausted, or go and get things done that he needs to get done. Same thing happens for me. Like if I'm home working, I need to give them both that first before, and then they're fine that I can just get my time together and do my own thing. So it's really important to understand what their love language is. So I'll give you examples of the others. So acts of kindness is my husband. I'm going to tell you this is actually one of, or no, sorry, he's words of affirmation. It's the hardest thing for me. I don't feel that I grew up getting praise all the time, being told things were good. That when our kids were little, I found it the weirdest thing that my husband, when I would go to work, taught our kids to say, "Thank you for working, mommy." I'm like, this is just weird. I thought it was. But for him, it's what he needs. It's his words of affirmation. If I just say, like, "Hey, you're doing a great job," or while he's doing like, "Thanks for doing the dishes," or "Thanks for doing that." And his love tank gets filled and it motivates him to be doing more and helping out more and doing things around the house. If he's getting to the point where he starts getting upset with me thinking I'm criticizing him all the time, it's quite often how I'm saying things to him. So if I say like, "Hey, can you do these dishes for me?" or "Can you do this?" It's like me asking him instead of saying something like, "It would be so helpful. It's always amazing when you help doing the dishes. Do you mind um, doing them right now so I can go and do this?" And it's words of affirmation. And as he's doing it or afterwards, like if I just pop up to him and give him a kiss on the cheek and say, like, "This is such a big help. Thank you." Or "You're doing an awesome job," pat him on the butt, high five. All of these things are those words of affirmation. So you'll see that in sports with the high fives, with high fives would be touch. Um, but high fives are kind of like if somebody says like, "Oh yeah, man, great job." That's the words of affirmation to it. So listen to how your teammates are too, because this works the same with your colleagues. You get somebody that's gifts. It doesn't mean it has to be expensive gifts. It could be a note in their lunch, which could also be part of words of affirmation, is giving them a little note in their lunch if you can't be there, doing those little things. Um, if there is something at work that you saw that's really small. Like it could be bringing them a bottle of water or finding a flower and literally just picking a little flower for your kid when you come home and saying, "Hey, look, I got this for you." It's really small things. You make them a card, make them a letter. These are gifts to these kids and that fills up their bucket. So it's not teaching them that it has to be monetary gifts, but it's ways that they like gifts. So we've covered gifts, words of affirmation, um, touch, physical touch, quality time, and there's the other one that I mentioned earlier, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember. Words of affirmation. Crap. Sorry. I cannot remember. Here, let me see. Five love languages. What is the last one? I'm on the website. Um, and it's not giving them all to me. It's by Gary Chapman. Words of affirmation. Um, it's not telling me the five love languages on the website. It will have to come to me, but you can absolutely find it in the in his books. He's got tons of them here. If you go into his resources, there's ones for kids, ones for teenagers, ones for, as I said, military, one for relationships. It's made a huge difference in our family, in how we know how to communicate with them. I know that I need to stop with my one son and look him in the eyes and talk to him when I'm talking to him. Whereas with the other one, as long as I'm like within touch reach, we can be talking and don't even have to be looking at each other. So, hopefully this helps you guys. Let us know if you do know your kid's love language. Let us know down below in the comments. And if you do try this, let us know how it works. Because honestly, every single person that I know that's implemented this cannot believe how much stress and pressure it takes off of them when they know, first off, what love their child needs, how to give it, and how quickly they're able to do that and give it to them, and then go on and do the other things that they need to do because time is such a maximum with your shifts. So let me know how that goes for you guys. I'm really curious because honestly, everyone in the program finds that this is phenomenal, and I just thought that I should share it with you. All right, have a good day. Um, if you do have any questions about this too, though, let me know. You can either comment below, you can private message us, you can email us as well at support@911lifestyle.com. Um, and just to understand, we don't normally do things like this in the program. Everything is usually physical. We're working on all of your hormones, your testosterone, your thyroid, working on your sleep and energy and stress hormones. We're working on your nervous system. We're working on your gut in order to get you sleeping, in order to help the short fuse, the motivation and drive, the libido, in order to help um, brain fog, short term memory, motivation. I did motivation and drive, gut issues, constipation, diarrhea, indigestion, all of those things. That's what we work on. And every once in a while, I throw in things like this if they have really helped us, because the program is 12 months in order to fix those things. And every once in a while, they need a break on fixing one of their physical stress systems. So I throw something like this in there. So any questions, let us know. Support@911lifestyle.com.